It is true, in my view, that there needs to be a very concrete process that begins to unfold, and I think we are still in the very early stages of that. The shutdown of Punggye-ri and having inspectors there is important and a positive thing. Clearly, the commitment that North Korea has made to the permanent dismantlement of Yongbyon is an important commitment. But it needs to be developed in detail and implemented in detail, and that's where you get people down in a room and you say, okay, if you're going to permanently disable Yongbyon, what will we need to do that? And you start making little lists. It's just, I believe that sanctions are a tool. They're not an end in themselves. The idea is to use the tools to try to incentivize and encourage North Koreans to do some things that they have committed to doing, and maybe some things they have not yet committed to doing. So that needs to be on the table, I believe. But that will take some time, as it has taken time in other countries. But the political question of what will we know about the path that we are on within the next year or couple of years, I think we can know a lot. I think that what happens in the next year or so is extremely important. I think Kim Jong-un does want to see a changed relationship between the DPRK and the U.S., South Korea, and the rest of the world. He wants to see economic growth, and most of all, he wants to, I think, stay in power for a long time. I interpret the invitation as consistent with Kim Jong-un's expressed desire to make North Korea a more normal country. He said he wants to do that. I'd like to see North Korea be a more normal country too, without nuclear weapons and with greater respect for religious freedom and other rights for its citizens. So in that context, if there is an opening to have that discussion and to see some improvement in the liberties and the status of North Koreans, especially in the area of religious freedom, that would be a welcome step. I do think it's right to address the priorities related to denuclearization and security. But we cannot forget human rights. I do think that the United Nations should continue to have a special rapporteur to look at the situation, to bring attention to it, that the United States should do the same thing. But I also think we need to, along with our partners in South Korea, think about practical suggestions we might make. So we need to, and I think we do, recognize that this is a changed relationship. But I think it does remain absolutely essential that Seoul and Washington work hand in hand. It sounds like a cliche, but it's so important to complement each other's efforts on the Korean Peninsula. Recognize that we have somewhat different roles. Well, the fundamental mission of KEI is to strengthen the understanding and relationship between the United States and Korea. And to do that, obviously not from a government position, but from a position of being an organization that can help to promote dialogue, that can deepen knowledge and understanding across the board.